In this series, I set myself the challenge of turning groove into melody. The groove, though, is randomly generated by a random number generator, so I don't even get time to practice it. I'm working with an instrument that I don't know very well at all. This isn't mine. Shout out to Rosie for lending me this one. So we're just completely working from the ground up. And hopefully, through this process, I'll be able to show you how you can potentially turn groove into melody or integrate melody into the grooves that you learn. I've already made a bunch of videos on this. You can check out the playlist below if you're interested in seeing it with other scales. But for now, let's work with this D major. And I don't know the layout very well, so we'll see how this goes. It'll be a fun experiment. First of all, we need a random number generator. I just use Google. And I'm going to set the amount from 1 to 8 because I'm working with a count of 4 and I'm dividing each beat into 2. So the count is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for a total of 8 strikes, right? So I'm going to decide I want to put a ding sound somewhere. It's going to be on the 7. So that would be the 4. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, there is my ding. And let's do another ding on the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, it's going to be interesting. And attack the 5. And something else that I might decide when the number comes up. Let's do another ding. How does that sound? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, that works. I can do that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1. See how I'm kind of adding these little flourishes to make it a little bit more exciting, but the core of it remains the same. The structure is always the same. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So my initial thought is that because we don't have any strong pulse on the 1, I want to add something there. Probably I'll start with some kind of chord. I want to find a little chord progression so that we've straight away got some movement in this piece. So we're not stuck in the same groove, adding melody and kind of feeling like we're trapped in this little 4-beat cycle or whatever. I want to add a progression first. I'm going to put those chords on the 1. First I have to find chords on this instrument. Okay. Sabye layout. This drum has been on my shelf for like 2-3 weeks and it's only just occurred to me how it works. Okay. There's the root chord. Okay, so here's what I've done. I've added this chord to beat 1 of the first round, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then another chord, 1, 2 and then a third chord, 1, 2, and then I just repeat that third chord. Because it's the home, it feels like we've landed, because this note is the same as the center tone. It feels like we've landed at home. It kind of feels nice to stay there for a little bit longer. And that's a really, really easy way of creating something listenable really quickly. Alright, so we've got a chord progression. And you'll notice as well that I'm already adding ghost notes in to get my hands moving, to get them ready for where I'm about to start finding some little melodies. Now, where's a good place to add melody? The groove is already quite full and quite interesting without anything else going on. end of the phrase. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and to replace those last 3 strikes where there is a ding in there somewhere, but I'm skipping it out just for that final round through to play a little bit of melody, just to give it that nice closing feel. Alright, but we need to have some kind of direction here. I'm going to flip things around, and I'm going to replace the dings, the center tones that we've got, 1 on the 2, the and of the 2 and the 4. I'm going to turn those into melody. I'm going to take that idea, I'm going to say thank you for that groove, but no thank you, that's melody now. And I'm going to, for now, keep the chords on the 1 to give it that structure. And I'll keep the tack where it is. The tack's actually in a perfect place. The tack is on the 3. I love a good tack on the 3. Very common in pop music, rock music. Right. Oh, I like that. Over and over and over again. But because I'm changing the chords underneath it, sounds nice. Oops. Adding in at the end, remember that phrase that we played with a minute ago with the chord and the groove, putting that in there so something ties those 2 sections together. Let's eliminate the tack altogether. Actually, let's get rid of the tack so that we've got something to build up to. So I'm going to experiment now with playing chords with the melody. Then I want to play the same thing around again, but add the tack. Then I'll play the same thing around again, but add the groove. So we feel like we're building. We've got the same structure, the chords are holding everything together, but I'm building the elements and I'm slowly moving the piece somewhere else. Let's try that. Then jump in. Little flourishes here and there. Changing that ending phrase. Adding more within it. And then take it away. Ooh, I like that. No tack. And we have a mini composition. It stays around the same chords all the way through, but it has dynamic shifts. It starts fairly quiet with a very clear melody and theme. Then we bring in that groove element, but again on the RAV it almost doesn't even feel like groove because the center tone is so open and so all-encompassing and actually has a very different character to if this was a handpan. And then I've introduced that tack to give it drive, but then I take it away. I'm actually also not always playing like this. I'm playing a lot with my knuckle, which I do often on RAVs just because I find it difficult to strike. I'm not really into this sound, personally. I really like this sound on these instruments, but you can do that however you want to do that. So then I take that away and just have this, and that gives it a whole different feel altogether. So Essentially what I've done here is I've taken this one tiny element, this groove, and this idea within this groove, picked it apart. I've replaced all of the center tone notes with melody at one point. I've taken the tack out, I've put the tack back in, I've put the dings back in, I've added chords, I've started to add like scatter in melody here and there. Because I've created that really solid structure, I feel confident and comfortable in it, then I can start to dance around it, right? So I've played this in as many possible ways while still keeping the core of it. If you're looking for a more detailed breakdown of how you can do this yourself, I recommend you check out this video next because I talked you through how to do that in one particular style. But yeah, thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you in the next one. Happy handpanning.